Hello everybody, welcome to today's 5-Minute Friday, and this one is very specific. It's about French Tarragon, and French Tarragon is such a fantastic herb I thought it was worth doing a video on. And it gives you a bit of an insight also how we produce cuttings on the nursery. It's not dissimilar to how I'm going to show you to do it at home, but just on a bigger scale effectively. Okay, so these are our French Tarragon plants. These are around about 8 weeks old, so I can take the tops off this, which will help the plants bush out, ready to be sold, but it also gives us the chance to take cuttings from them as well. French Tarragon is a plant that has to be grown from cuttings. You can't grow it from seed. That'll be Russian Tarragon, and flavour-wise there's basically no flavour to it at all. So always go for the French Tarragon when you're looking at tarragons. There is another one, which isn't a true tarragon. I'll show you that in a little bit. So it's slightly harder than some of the cuttings I've shown you before from the point of view of getting them to root. But the first stage is pretty much exactly the same. So I select a plant and I'm just going to cut the stem off, just like that. Let's do it again to show you. Just like that, so we get a relatively large cutting like that, and I'm just going to put it in the soil. So on the nursery what we do is go through and take the tips out just like that, and we do the whole tray, which I won't do for the video, and just work our way along. Let's finish this row off for neatness, shall we? Okay, so if you've got tarragon in the garden and you want to take cuttings, you want more plants, doing that, doesn't matter how big the plant is, doing that is going to help it bush out. So let's turn our attention to actually planting the cuttings. So I get a cutting, and this is a dibber. You can use a pencil, a pen. We don't tend to use our finger, my finger's a bit big. So I'm just going to put a hole in, put the plant in, and then just very, very lightly tuck it in. And we just move along the row until we've done 104 of them, because that's how many holes are in here. It's as easy as that, really. So that stage is pretty much the same as almost every cutting I've ever shown you. The next stage is very, very similar, but is a bit specific to plants that are slightly harder to get to root, and tarragon's one of them. They take a long time to root. So the first thing I think you need is patience. Absolutely nothing you can do, they're going to take a long time. You also need heat. We will grow these on at about 20 degrees. So loads of houses are perfect for that, but outside, even in the warm weather, remember at night it's going to get lower than that. So this is really a windowsill type of thing to grow from cuttings, or a greenhouse, a conservatory. I'm going to water it a lot, keep them nice and damp, and keep them moist until they start rooting, which at home I'm guessing could take you as much as 8, maybe 10 weeks for them to root. So be patient, don't start pulling them out in a couple of weeks like you maybe could with a mint. Leave them for that long, and when they start growing, you'll soon see it. You'll see fresh growth come from it. Okay, so I've brought the cuttings that we've taken to our prop area. Prop just stands for propagation. It's where we raise all of the plants that we grow from seed or from cuttings, obviously this case cuttings, and I've taken most of the tray worth of cuttings. And the reason I brought them here, a lot of it is to do with keeping the temperature up. So we spoke about wanting to grow them at 20 degrees. So this has got a lid that comes over that will keep the plants nice and moist and keep them at that temperature, about 20-22 degrees. So the first thing I need to do is water them. So I'm going to make them nice and wet. I wouldn't go as far as saying you can't overwater them at this stage, but you're pretty much close. So we're really going to let the water sink in, let it go down a bit, water it a bit more, just so we get a nice lot of moisture in there. These, like I said, are going to take a long time to root. So that's them watered, and I might even go back a bit later, check they haven't dried out at all, and water them again. The one thing that helps with the moisture levels is obviously covering them up. We've got something for that, but at home a plastic bag or something like that will do the same job. Now, I spoke a little bit about an alternative to French Tarragon. Like I say, you'll see Russian Tarragon seeds for sale. The flavour of Russian Tarragon isn't very good at all, and is nothing like your French Tarragon. So if you're making a Tarragon sauce or putting it in a risotto or something like that, always go for French Tarragon or this one. So this is Four Seasons Tarragon. It's actually not a true Tarragon, if you like. It's a Tagetes, so it's not an Artemisia like this one. But it has a fantastic tarragon flavour to it. One of the benefits of this as well is slightly easier to grow. So if you do struggle with French tarragon, definitely look for Four Seasons Tarragon. It's a fantastic plant. So in about 8-9 weeks, these will start rooting. We'll take them out of here, and we're going to end up with new tarragon plants. Any questions at all, just give us a bell, drop us a line, send us a message on Facebook. We're always happy to help.